Watch it.
All right, y'all. I'm Jonathan Joyner. That's Tennyson. This is Hunt the Front. What are we doing today, buddy?
We are going to work on the race car.
We are. Did you tell them about your new toy corner over here?
It's my new toy corner.
Yep. I've done some rearranging here in my garage the last few days. Been busy with that. Haven't made a video, but we got this situated. Got us a little extra room in here. And now we're in the garage and we're gonna hang out, me and Tennyson. We're gonna make us a video today. We're gonna wash the 56 car, get it rolled out, get it cleaned up, get it back in here and go over it for to check over it for whenever we do get to race. No idea when that's gonna be. I'm sure you all watching this know what's going on with the virus and all that, but so we're on a hiatus right now, but we'll be racing again soon, I feel quite certain, so we need to get to work on this thing. All right. So while I was putting up these new shelves, I was moving these old trophies around, and it reminded me about old DVDs and VHS tapes we have from our races from back in the 90s when Daddy was racing, and the 2000s when I was just getting started, Joseph was getting started. So I got a DVD and VHS where I can convert those to digital files. I was thinking about putting some of those together, maybe putting up some throwback videos to our first wins and that kind of thing here on the channel. Y'all let me know if you would be interested in seeing some of that stuff.
Gotta get the 100-foot knowledge.
That's right.
To go on Tennyson's race car too. Daddy, I'm gonna crank on my race car.
Bring it up then, buddy. Y'all remember our last race was at Deep South Speedway in Loxley, Alabama. One thing I figured out over there is that the steering on this car is way too soft. Loxley Deep South has longer straightaways than where I usually race, Southern Raceway, here our hometown track. And I was figuring out that I was about to lose it at the end of the straightaway because the steering is just so sensitive. This piece right here, the rack, it's got a real sensitive servo on it where basically you can steer it with your pinky, and it's a lot softer than what I'm used to. I didn't notice it so much at Southern because, you know, we have a little bit shorter straightaways. We're not carrying as high a speed. So over there at Deep South, I knew it was an issue. It's probably an issue at Southern too because the steering is so soft that I'm making the car do things that it doesn't need to be doing. I'm too jerky with the wheel because it's so sensitive. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this car cleaned up, get it back in here, and we're gonna get this rack off of this car. I've got a new one coming that hopefully will be here by the end of the week, and we can get it on this car, and it'll be stiffer, be a 235 instead of the 185 that's on it. It'll be a 235, which means as you go up in number, the stiffer the rack is, the harder, less sensitive the steering is. So we'll get it on here. It's what I'm used to, and hopefully that'll help us out.
Okay, let's go!
1, 2, 3.
Alright. Daddy,
Yeah.
I'm helping my daddy push.
Push harder.
Okay. Go right here. Now left. Go up. Here. Okay.
All right, give me a high five. Good job. Good job.
So, yeah, we did a good job.
You talking to your camera?
Yeah.
We'll have to get you your own real camera. All right, we're gonna watch this. Get this car
This
jacked
is
up.
my old camera.
All right. All right, let's get this car jacked up and get her cleaned up so we can get back in here and get this rack off.
Well, out here.
Okay.
It's not as hot in the
Is that right?
thing.
All right, y'all, we got the car jacked up. I've got Tennyson a little track in here. So I'm gonna get this car cleaned up. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit through it, but y'all can kind of watch. For those of you who haven't seen us wash a race car before, you can watch me as I clean it quickly here, and then when I'm finished cleaning it before we roll it in, I'll tell you what we use, the soap mixture we use to get it clean, for those of you who haven't caught a car washing video before. All right, y'all, it took me a lot longer than I expected, but the car is clean, ready to go back in here so we can get this rack off of it really quick. For those of you who haven't heard this explanation before, to wash the cars, what we use in this is a 2-gallon spray bottle. It's got 3 capfuls of Tide, 1 Tide cap full of bleach, and then pump it up, spray down the chassis, let it set for a few minutes, spray it off, and then just wash the outside like you would you know, your passenger car. So that's how we wash race cars. Quick update. I told y'all at the beginning I had a rack coming. Well, the whole deal with the virus shut down the company that builds the rack. Their state shut down, so we won't be able to get a rack. But I did get, next day coming to me, a servo to go on the rack. So we'll still have the same rack. We'll just take the rack off and put a new servo on it that'll make it be the stiffer rack like what I want. So when I get it off, I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. And then tomorrow or the next day when we get the servo, we'll do a video and show y'all changing that out. So get this thing in, we'll get it we'll get in under there and I'll show you. Did y'all catch any fish?
Yeah.
Yeah, where are they?
Right here.
We can't eat those.
We got 4 of them.
Oh, okay. That's y'all's inspection
Yeah.
on cleanliness. Let's push it in. Unless you want to drive it.
Brand new.
You'll drive it?
Yeah.
Y'all aren't pushing.
I am pushing. I'm not on the ceiling. I was scared I was gonna slip. Watch it. Oh.
Now back.
Okay, stop.
He knows where it goes. Tennyson, let's teach her. Tell you guys, start by grabbing the jack.
Start by grabbing the jack.
Get your jack, step 1. Go to the right side, passenger side of the car. All right, you gotta get kind of centered up. Maybe a little bit more to the front. You gotta finagle it. You gotta come at an angle.
So much for yoga.
Well, you wanted a workout. Shadow's a CrossFitter, and all gyms in Florida are closed right now, so this is her workout. Just look at those muscles. Say, good job, Mama.
Good job, Nana. A little bit more and one more. Go slow. Go slow, little bit. I just need 2 holes.
Now you got to put the jack stands under the car, under the frame rail. You know what the frame rail is? There you go. All right, good enough. Good enough. Go in with it and come up one. Go in with it.
Hey, raise up a little bit.
in
Raise up a
like.
little bit.
Now raise it up. Ease her down.
Which way is
Lefty loosey, like you're loosening something. Did it scare you?
I didn't expect it to make a noise.
Push it over there.
Straight under to the other frame rail.
Cuphead on.
Yeah?
Cuphead Road is on.
I hear that. That's a good song. Keep her coming a little bit. Right there. Ho. Good workout. So you can be up and down. Over. Yeah, there you go. All right. Now you got to put it on the bar out from the frame rail. You got to learn to ease it now. But yes, good job. You now know how to jack up a car. We'll come back. I gotta get tires off, but I'll teach you that next lesson. Your next lesson will be get a tire off. Yeah. Roll it out there and watch it. Alright, there. You got one more. I'll be all 4 of them. Keep up the good work, my buddy. Alright, he is back there washing tires. Shadow's reading her book. Yeah, buddy. Good. Alright, good job. We're gonna get this rack off. It's gonna be kind of hard for me to have y'all down in there with me for you to see it, so I'm just gonna show y'all and point it out and tell you what we're gonna do here to get the rack off. We're going to disconnect the power steering lines, and then we're going to take and disconnect. Okay, buddy. We're gonna disconnect the steering shaft and the tie rod on each end. You got one on the other end as well. Then we'll have to get up under here and pull these 3, 1, 2, 3 rack bolts out, and then it should come out, and we can change our servo when we get it. All right. I put a F on the line that I'm about to take off, the front line. That way I know it goes on the front fitting. Should have seen this before I started, but this bolt won't come out with the control arm bolt and mount cross member in the way. So either we're gonna have to leave the tie rod on and take it off from the spindle, or maybe I can pull the rack up and then pull the bolt out then. We'll see. There, the shaft is loose. We'll have to, when we pick the rack up, again, pull the rack away from it, most likely. All right, and I got the other side, the tie rod unhooked, so we're gonna get underneath now and pull the 3 bolts out. Till the train running out of track. Look, didn't mean to throw that at y'all. Alright, 3 rack bolts are out. We might have to pull this skid plate off. As a matter of fact, I think we're gonna have to pull the skid plate off. Alright, skid plate's out of the way. Alright, there it is. Rack is out. All right, so here is our steering rack. This is the servo, what I was talking about that we would be replacing. At 185 you're reading there, that'll say 235 whenever on the servo we'll be putting on it. That's how it goes on the car. Tie rod, right side tie rod, left side steering shaft, and 2 power steering lines. So we'll put it over here on the workbench. And in our next installment, we will be hopefully changing out a servo on the rack. What that'll do, I mean, it's much easier to drive with this servo that's on it, but you know, with the steering being easier, it's too easy for me to be sawing on the steering wheel. Without the resistance, it's harder to be steady, and you're doing too much turning, and it's making the car do things it's not supposed to do. You're upsetting the car too much. So I think that'll be a big help. Hopefully here in a couple days we'll have a video getting that servo on there, getting that changed, getting it back on the car. Other than that, I'm not exactly sure what we have going on racing wise. Your guess is as good as mine with the whole virus deal, but we'll be ready when it is time to go back racing. We'll be ready to hit the ground running. Y'all be sure to comment and let me know what you thought of the idea of putting some old racing videos on here. We got a ton of DVDs, VHS going back to Daddy's racing days of our races. This will be a good way while we're not doing any racing to give y'all a little backstory, a little history of where we came from. So I got the thing coming in the mail, should be here really soon, where I can copy those DVDs and VHS to digital. So let me know if you're interested in that. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, and thank y'all for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.